Right. So welcome, Clear Vision Wednesday. It's time to talk about vision like every Wednesday on my show. I am Claudia Mühlenweg. I am the creator of the Natural Clear Vision Method and the Natural Clear Vision Institute. And every Wednesday we go live here and talk about vision improvement, all the different factors that impact your eyesight. And today we have a topic that is super dear to my heart that you might not really be aware of, or maybe you are. So our topic today is low vision, and I have a special guest. I'm going to bring her on stage right now. Let me bring her on. Hi, Fabienne. How do you say your last name, Fabienne?
Weynant or Weynant in English.
Weynant. Super happy to have you here. So tell everybody, so you are an expert in low vision because it's something that you're experiencing yourself, and you're also helping other people with low vision. So tell us a little bit about your own story and how you got to do this work.
Yeah, so first of all, hello everybody. Thank you very much, Claudia, for inviting me. So my story, well, I have a very good health. Since the beginning, I have had a very good health, except for eyes. So at the age of 21 years, I had various retinal detachment operations and a vitrectomy. And I lost nearly 98% of my eyesight on the right side. So at the time, I wanted to be a ballerina, maybe not for a full career, but at least as a big passion. And at the time, because it's some years ago, well, they told me that I had to avoid all the movements of the head, all the rotations. So I had to give up this passion. And I was very upset, of course, at 28 and 21. And then I started a kind of kinesiotherapy with orthoptics, the usual kine for the eyes. And it was not for me. I was too tired in the eyes, no results. So I was quite desperate. And by chance, I met a wonderful yoga teacher. And he said to me, well, I will try, to keep you moving with your head little by little, physically first. And he helped me a lot, slowly, at my own rhythm, without stress. And then also, I realized that it was not only that, yoga was much more. So he helped me to accept the situation at the time. And I could go on with my university studies that were nearly finished. And during 30 years, I was a translator, written translator. But of course, the eyes were still, the problem in my life. And I was introduced to eye yoga first. So yoga for the eyes by this teacher. And this made all the difference for me. It helped me a lot. And little by little, I knew about the Bates method also. So I developed a quite of own practice, yoga, eye yoga, Bates method. And till the point that I said, well, that's very good for me. So why couldn't I share that with other people? So I started a yoga teacher training. I specialized in eye yoga. And also I made the studies to become a Natural Vision Educator, which is a good balance, very, very nice. And in spite of that, I had up and downs with my eyes. And very early, I had cataracts operations. I had problems with the left eye also, bleeding in the optical nerve, and at the end, glaucoma. So I always have up and downs, and it's a journey. I mean, myself, I learned every day, and which is really exciting, I would say, is that I try to maintain as long as possible my eyesight. And this is why I'm also wearing glasses, because I take them off a lot, but when I'm under control, for instance, I put them, and it gives me a little more. So that's mainly the reason. And I found a good balance between my work. I stopped with the translating because computer was coming. It was really too demanding, and I could dedicate myself only to teach yoga, eye yoga, and all the things I like. So this makes me very happy.
So yeah, thank you so much for sharing your journey. And it sounded like your journey was going up and down, but overall, you would say that your vision is better, you know, using the techniques from eye yoga and the Bates method, along with some of the necessary surgeries. And we can look a little bit deeper into your story, because I think you told me there's also the emotional reasons why you even got retinal detachment in the first place in the early 20s, right? There's a lot of, like, you're 21 years old. I mean, you're way too young, right, to have those challenges that usually people in their 70s, 80s, or 90s have. But thank you for sharing that. I think that's a very powerful story, how you really decided that the vision is so much bigger than, you know, like, what did you say in the beginning? You did orthoptics, or you did the vision therapy, right? Yeah, for everybody not understanding, that is more the traditional. Do you want to quickly explain what that is for anybody who is listening and might not know what that is?
Yes, I would say it's a kind of physiotherapy for the eye, and it's much more by exercises, but really that makes the muscle work, that try to, it's not on the relaxations part. It's especially if you have already injuries in your eyes. I felt it really maybe good for, you know, strabismus, or children having strabismus maybe. But for me, it was not the case, really. It was too tiring, yeah.
It's so interesting, because I say the same thing. That's just exercise, but at the end of the day, it's about relaxation,
Yeah,
in terms of, and then interesting that they told you not to move your head, because we know now, we both know, because that's what we're teaching, how movement is so important, especially your head movement, and for good vision. So they told you not to move, kind of freezing you in. So it's
yeah,
super interesting what you shared about that. Yoga was really the pathway to get you to
yeah.
have this life, with, even though
And
with,
and also, you know, I was always trying to find the reason why did I have that. And the reason that they always the doctors told me was, well, you had a high nearsightedness and you were studying, so this is why you had all these problems. I say, well, no, not everybody having high nearsightedness and having this will have retinal detachment. So I went on with my own studies, my own researches, in fact, because I didn't see an awful thing happening in front of me. There was no accident, no shock on my head. So so what I found was after, you know, technique, I would say holistic techniques, the most, for me, explanation, the best explanation is that, in fact, all the times in my life where I had detachments, I had a retinal detachment. So detachment meaning when I lost my grandmother, for instance, when I was obliged, between brackets, to go to camps and stay at night. For me, I was far away from my parents, and I like it in the day, but not at night. And so all these detachment, I would say, well, were transferred by the retinal detachment, the loss, and you
right.
know. And since I have started with the eye yoga and the Bates method, I didn't have that any longer. So when I realized it, you know, so
So
it's
yeah,
it's
so yeah,
incredible.
you know, while high myopia puts you at a higher risk for sure, but that, like you said, that alone is not the reason that all of a
No.
sudden you have this at the super young age, this retinal detachment. So before we get any further, I think it's important that we explain to everybody, what does it even mean to have low vision, right? Do you want to say a few things and I can demonstrate some things?
Yeah, all right. So I would like to explain you what is low vision on 2 points of view. First, I would say the theoretical or legal point of view. And therefore, you have to know that low vision is a situation, a visual impairment where you cannot be corrected any longer. So either by lenses, glasses, medication, surgeries, nothing will bring you back to your good eyesight. So, and legally, especially in the United States, the World Health Organization has given standards based on two things. And Claudia will show you on the visual acuity and
acuity, the acuity. So, sorry. So the visual acuity is how sharp can you see your eyesight, which is usually measured right on a Snellen chart like this.
Yeah.
And Fabienne, you say, so basically, if you are, this is a 20-foot chart, 6 meters, you stand there, and if you can read line 3 or less, right? And that's
correct.
Actually 2400 would be a letter twice as big as the E. So any, they say officially, right, between 2070, which is this line at 20 feet, or worse, is basically like if you can't see less than that, that is correct low vision from a visual acuity, how sharp you can see, right? Is that okay?
With full correction. So when you have
right, whatever the lenses, whatever they can give
whatever
you.
you are wearing. Yeah. So also the second point that take into consideration is the peripheral field. So the way you see on the sides. And this is equal or lower than 20%. In fact, when you are low vision, when you are blind, it's equal or less than 10%, for instance. But you see, for me, it's a theoretical definition, which is very, very nice, but it doesn't reflect really the reality, the practical way. So I would say that in practice, low vision is something that you don't see. Often you don't see it. To the people, well, if you are not aware, you don't see that the person is a low vision. And it's a situation of disability. So it means that sometimes the person can see very well, and other times she can't see. And the problem is that, in fact, because I'm considered as a low vision person, so I assume that, and officially, but we are in no boxes. You know, a society like to put you on boxes. Either you see well, that's the first box, or you don't see and you are blind. And in between, there is a nowhere state, and this is low vision. So it's very difficult for us to live with that, because you are not in one sector, you're not in the other. And also, every kind of low vision is different. So, for instance, you can see spots or everywhere in your eyesight. You can have everything blurry, for instance, or you can have a tunnel vision, not seeing your periphery, or you can, on the other way around, you can have just the central vision and not the periphery. So there are every low vision person is different, and in some situation nothing happened. I give you an example. When I'm in a restaurant, I have to go to the bathroom, and I go from outside the terrace, sunny terrace, inside. I don't see when I go inside, and I'm nearly blind. I need help, or I try to make the palming, and then it's okay. And when I come back, as I have a few minutes accustomed that I'm used to the light that I have there, I come back and it's okay. So people say, well, what is she doing? She needs help on one way and not on the other way. So they don't understand very well the low vision. That's
So
what I
that is a
do.
great, I think that's a really great example because like you said, it takes your eyes quite long to adjust to the lower light inside, but once you've done, you come back from the bathroom, you go and everything is, you can see much better. So
Yeah,
I loved when you shared that example with me because even I work with, you know, people of all kinds of vision conditions, not so much low vision. And sometimes, you know, we seeing people or we well seeing people don't really understand how, you know, for instance, that example that you just gave us, people were like, I don't make sense because if somebody's completely blind, let's say with a, you know, with a guide dog or a cane, they would,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So that, like you said, that gray zone between, and even blindness has many different, you know, layers. So that it's not like,
of
you
course.
know, so that even we're not going to go into complete blindness today. I feel like because, but you're making such a good example. So what are things like, you know, so you have that, like as somebody who has better vision or your friends, how do you said people don't even notice that you have low
Mm.
vision. Like, can you describe a little bit what people do that is not helpful and things that would be helpful?
Yeah, or other tips that you
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
yeah, you can identify already the problems, because usually everybody likes autonomy, you know. So some people do not, even blind people, some need help, some like help, other not. So this is already difficult. But I would tell you, just like what you said, is the fact that low vision people usually do not have a dog, a
Right.
guiding dog. So that's reserved to blind people. There are several type of cane to help, white cane to help you. And in the low vision, we are allowed to have already one, but just for this a kind of signal. So you take your white cane. I would take it, I would say, when I enter the restaurant and go to the bathroom. It's a kind of identification cane, but it's not a mobility one. So it's not the one you are going on the street to use. It's just to try already to let people think that there is a problem. So that is one tip when you see a person, even with a cane, but for a few minutes. It may be going up the stairs and then she takes it away, the cane. So that's the first tip. Then look at the gaze of the person. Usually, even myself, you know, I know that I have one eye going more inside. It's not really strabismus. It's the gaze of low vision people sometimes is vague. You think that they are not looking nowhere. Also, it can be deviated, diverted, or just like myself, because we try to use the part, the residue, the visual residue, in fact, the small part of your vision that you still have. And this can provoke a kind of strabismus, which is not really a strabismus. So these are tips in the gaze that you can identify. Also, eye contact is difficult with the person, because you are going to look at her eyes and you are going to be a bit where she looking, and then you don't know what to say, what to do. Then you have also a lot of another tip to identify low vision is when people are, you know, reading like this, very close, and the way they have their body posture. So they maybe tilt like the head, the shoulders. When they walk, usually the balance is not the same. So walking, moving, there is some anomalies, something's wrong usually. Or the tilt head, that's always also a thing that you can identify. And in the association, taking care of the low vision people, they want us to put glasses, dark glasses, colored
Oh, really?
glasses, filters, you know, to reduce the light coming in. And this is really for me something I'm completely against, because, you know, by the Bates method and how much the sun is good, of course, you can have, there are two reasons why they do that. Aesthetics reasons. So because they think that the gaze of the person is not nice, so or the person itself is ashamed of her eyesight, and she preferred to put colored glasses or dark glasses, and also protection because of photophobia. So photophobia is when you don't, the light is too strong and you want to reduce it. Otherwise, you can't see. So this is really something that I try first with my clients. It's the first thing that I try to let them experience in another way, without glasses, little by little, of course, because it's really, really bad. So
That
these
is
are
just so
the tips
crazy.
that
Sorry,
you
can
have.
I interject? That is so crazy. I didn't know that was still a thing, because I know Aldous Huxley wrote in his book, in this 43 book, The Art of Seeing, how, he said the dark goggles were reserved for the, afflicted, like the blind people. And I thought, I didn't even know that was a thing anymore. So we know eyes are light receivers, and that low vision and blind people might even just have some light perception. But if you put it behind dark glasses,
Yeah, then of
then
course
yeah,
it's just the way around. You take out the few residue of light coming in. So, and by reducing it, you get used to the reduction, so it go worse instead
right.
of going better.
I want to switch a little bit gears into, like, first of all, so we talked about how other people can recognize somebody with low vision and maybe, be more mindful in their approach. That's one thing. However, like, I also want you to talk about, like, what is the risk? Because many of us watching now, we might wear glasses or contacts, but we don't really think of us ever having the risk of, becoming vision impaired or blind. So talk a little bit about the risk factors. And then obviously the biggest part of this today is a reserve for improving your vision at any stage, meaning whatever low vision you have, because we can always get the most out of it, and in many cases make some improvements.
Yeah,
So let's talk a
yeah.
little bit about, what are the risk factors? Like, what does everybody have? Why does everybody need to care about this topic?
Yeah, well, as you told, it's first to be able to recognize and to have IDs that you may have low vision people in your surroundings and not knowing it, or even not knowing what to do. This is the tips I give you. But also, everybody, may have low vision in the near future. Because why? Because of our, just like you have more and more nearsightedness, the low vision comes earlier and earlier in the life stage of people. Before, let's say it would have been 80 years old. Now it may be 70, 60. Why? Because we are using, in our society, where we are always using screens. We are working with artificial light. We are going less outside. So all these factors put together make that you develop cataract much earlier. You develop macular degeneration, glaucoma, all these pathologies that before were not so usual. I mean, now it's exploding. So really, I think that everybody from even without problem, we should take care of our eyes. Because as I told Claudia, I was attending a World Happiness Conference, also by online last month, and my subject was the fact that if you have money and you get older, but if you don't see any longer, if you can't move any longer, and if you are completely stressed or depressed or whatever, you can't be happy. So it's a kind of a new way of thinking, that it's not all the time when you have the problem that you have to start dealing with it. You know, when we go, we do fitness, we go in the fitness clubs. It's not just it's a way because we want to keep the mobility as long as possible. Well, it's the same for your eyesight. If you don't think about it, your 51st years of your life, but it's a shame because you could have prevented a lot of problems. So this is why I think that it concerns everybody, in fact. Hoping, of course, not to go to low vision, but
yeah, you
it's
bring
really
up a good
important.
point, Fabienne, because I think a lot of times we take our eyesight for granted. And, only when we get that diagnosis, we're like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
When in fact, I mean, you mentioned screens, you mentioned more time indoors, you mentioned the artificial light, which is really bad for our eyes and our whole body, our whole everything. And also, obviously, diet, right? Our diet has changed dramatically since World War II, the industrialization, the processed food. I mean, we didn't used to eat this way 100 years ago. And so, and the cataracts are related to blood sugar imbalancing and a lot of these things. And they take like 20, 30 years in the making. So yes, I think very important to not wait till you have symptoms, but, start early on with all this important work, learning about vision improvement, learning from Fabienne, like eye yoga, like taking like hygiene, like little practices, right? I think it's super important. So I would like to talk, share a little bit about, your own approach. How do you, so do you only work with people with low vision? Is that most of the people that you work with? And how do you, like, what do you do to help them see better and get the most out of the vision that they have?
Yeah, so I like to have three different approach, I would say. The idea is always, generally speaking, to my motto, I would say is to maintain and improve the eyesight, the mobility, and the positive spirit all along your life. So because it encompasses a little bit all what is important for me. And therefore, I can work, for instance, with my three passions, which are, well, ballet was a passion, but anyway, yoga, travels, and languages. I'm a former translator, so I speak Spanish, French, English, Dutch, Portuguese a little bit also. And what inspired me is to go on, I would say, on boats, in clubs, holiday clubs, and to give yoga classes when people are on the holidays.
Oh,
Why?
I love
Because
that.
they are really in another environment. I'm very lucky. Since 3 years, I have a contract with sailing boat. And there I give 2 hours yoga every day during 1 week, in the morning, in the evening, and we are in nature, having the sunrise, the sunset. So this is one part of course, it's some kind of people going there, but you touch really the people out of their work, out of their stress, and they can discover what is yoga in a different way. So this is one part. The other part of people are low vision people, of course, because I think that when you have an issue, well, you understand better how you can help these people. And the third part is also in this idea of my motto is to go in the companies to give workshops. But there, the purpose is more to let people understand how they can work 7 hours with a computer without hurting their eyes, how they can keep a certain mobility doing some exercises, how they can breathe to have new positive idea and mindset. So these are the three parts of kind of people, I would say, that I love to work with. And
I absolutely love that. So basically, going into companies where a lot of people are working, like offices, maybe cubicles, a lot of on screens, they don't go outside enough. So educating them on simple little things they can do to see, well, despite being on screens and not have that negative effect. And I absolutely love the idea of doing it on holidays, because you literally maybe have a new perspective and are more open, to changing things and seeing things in a new way, literally. And I absolutely love that. And then you work one-on-one with some like low vision clients that just come.
Also,
Okay, got it.
With
Okay.
low vision, it's much better on one-by-one lessons, definitively.
Do you have, okay, go ahead, sorry.
Sorry. No, go on.
Do you have I would love to hear some stories of clients that you've worked with that had low vision, like, do you have some stories?
The way first, I thought I give the name of my method. Of course, everything is into French. It's yoga pour voir clair. So yoga to see clearly is the translation. Why? Because for me, the word yoga is very important, because the first thing I try to make people aware of is just the awareness of the eyes. And with yoga, it's just that you put your awareness in, I would say, your in a part of the body, and that's for the eye is really very important, because we use our eyes all the time and we don't know it. We don't know how they work. So this is one word that I insist on, yoga. And also the fact that you have to relearn to see. Just like a baby when he starts walking, well, we have such habits in our high way of using our eyes that we need a new setup, We do a kind of a reset and explain how to change your habits, to have less stress in your eyes, and also to do less, because we do a lot. So the idea is really to go in the relaxation, and this, therefore, I use the yoga. I mean the classical postures, but yoga means also the breath, so the breathing, the pranayama, which is really very powerful when you have eye problems, and the meditation, relaxation. And then I use massage, for instance, very nice for the eyes, and deep relaxation. So my method, I would say, is a kind of mix of tools, and hoping that everybody can find something. Because it's just like at school, when you explain something in only one way, well, part of the students may not take the information. If you have different tools, different explanations, they will say, oh, okay, this one is for me now, because we speak also of the present, the present moment. And to come to case studies, successful stories, or I can give you 2 examples, which are a bit different than usual. So I had a French lady who came to one of my 2 days retreats, and she was really, she's a low vision person, that's important to say, and she wanted to have a group retreat. And she came to me and she said, oh, I will stop the Bates method. I had session 1-by-1, and it didn't give any result. So, well, I think I will stop. I will do not any longer. But anyway, I come for 2 days and we see. And then I tried to figure out what was the problem, and to say, even if it's a group retreat, we were not 1,000, we were 10 people. So I tried to figure out what was her blockage, because there was something that no improvement was made. And in fact, for her, what I found is that going outside and staying outside, doing everything outside, what we usually do inside, was the solution. Because she was used to have a 1 hour, 1 day session. It was not online, it was at an office, but inside with a chart in front of her, with artificial light. And so she was so stressed, then nothing came out of her, and she couldn't improve. And if I took the same activities, I would say, like looking at the details, looking far and near, a swing, the sunning, she was doing it with a lamp, an artificial lamp inside.
Oh, really? Oh.
And not the real sun. So, or mostly the artificial light, because the weather was not good, and not the sunning, you know. And so she was really, really transformed by this experience. And the second thing I did with her was playing. So instead of the idea was to have her mind busy with other things than the eyesight. And I gave her a big ball, very, very big ball. She couldn't see the ball, but she was moving the ball, playing with the ball. And the games are really something that was new for her also. So this mixture of outside games, playing instead of working, or instead of trying to improve, well, she still now goes on with the Bates method. So she was really convinced, and I was very happy of that, really, because she was so desperate, I would say. And another story is also related much more to the yoga practice, the movement, important of the movement for some people. It's a lady who also low vision, I talk, a low vision lady who came to me, and she was desperate because she couldn't read any longer. And it was not in one session, but I worked with her, and very, very bad. Yeah, so she had the problem that she couldn't read, and also that she couldn't move. When she was walking, she was hesitating, not confident, you know, in her body. And so with several sessions, we started working on her first, not the movement, but the breath. Just breathing exercise from the bottom of the feet till the top of the head, and different pranayama techniques in yoga. And only after we started with movement, and little by little yoga postures. And she really felt that all the oxygen, all the, you know, was moving, that things were moving, and including in her eyesight. She was much more open in her eyesight, the face was more relaxed. And on the other way, for the reading, because of course there was much more difficult to have her read again, I tried to work on her imagination, and saying that a child till the age of 6, he can't read, but he is happy. And so I tried to let her imagine how was her childhood, how, if she was happy, how did she have all this part of her life without reading. And little by little, can't you transform that and change the reading by another something else? I don't know, listening to music or. And she mixed, in fact, the imagination session with the movement session. And the result was that she decided to practice dance. And she's now taking dance classes, and really feeling, having discovered, I would say, another thing than reading. So, and much more happy.
So so reading didn't come back to her. She was so focused on the thing that she couldn't do anymore, versus, you know, what can you do and what are new things to see. Well, those are both powerful stories. So I think that's really important to know, to make out, underline here, that you can you can open your, and I love you talked about the children, like the childlike approach to the world with curiosity and interest and no attachments to having to do this or that. And so I think low vision is really about like, how can you bring or make the world more colorful and beautiful, and how can you be, how can you blossom in this world, no matter how you see? I mean, that's what I'm hearing from what you say. It just sounds very, it's transformative on a really way deeper level than being able to read a line lower on the Snellen chart, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And even for myself, for instance, I know that all the work on the computer, the marketing and so on is very energy consuming for my eyes. So, well, I said, okay, either I go bigger in my company and I have assistants and so on, but then I have to work more and more, or I keep my balance and I keep a small company. And I'm much more invited by people, the mouth to mouth, and it works. So the universe gives me the clients, I would say, but I don't want to go in this way of hurting my eyes, by the work on the computer, by things that are not good for me, for my eyesight.
I love, so you're basically, I think this is an important piece that I also try to teach, like when you hate a job or when something isn't working for you, and this is what I found different in America, and now that I've been living in America for 30 years versus in Germany, there's a way more of a willingness to like throw things overboard and start from scratch and be like, hey, versus like being so attached, the opposite of what you talked in the beginning, being so attached to the negative things that are not working for you anymore versus seeing all the possibilities that are out there just because that's what you've been doing before. So is there a little, I think you said you had a little practice for us to conclude with, and I'm make sure I get to YouTube also.
Yeah, the time goes too quick. Just for the, if there are some natural vision educators, just a little tip when working with low vision people is really to imagine that it's another world. I mean, it's another reality, the low vision. So work with a new reality, try to discover the reality of the person and not the usual one. That's very important for me to be successful with low vision people. So yes, let's have a little practice, which will be, I would say, much more for everybody, not especially low vision people. I can give that also in workshops for the company. So when you are tired with your eyes. And I would invite you just to take out your glasses, lenses, what you have, and even maybe to go a bit further from your computer, not to stick to your computer any longer. And we are just going to have some little stretch. We were here not moving during nearly 45 minutes. So just for a few seconds, you close your eyes, you cross your fingers, and I invite you to put them at the back of your head. So just at the back, not in the neck, just a little bit in your hair. You open your elbows. You inhale by the nose. And you exhale. You just close the elbows and have your head going down. Not your back, just your head. And on the inhale, you open the elbows, you take your head a little bit up, just like you were in a cushion, and you repeat it, exhaling, elbows in against your face, head down, inhaling, you open. Just try to do it a few times on your own rhythm, gently, smoothly. And then you come back in the center, no way to open your eyes, keep them closed. You start having your arms extended along your body. And slowly you will go up with the left shoulders and round, so up, in front, on the side, back, and then you change. The right shoulder goes in front, up, you turn it down, and you go with the left shoulder in front, up and down, and you move also a little bit your body, your hips. You do a nice movement, relaxing all the shoulders, and then you reverse the rounding. So you go back, middle, forward, you change, back, middle, forward, and you let all the movement do smoothly, gently. Then you come back on the middle. You cross your fingers in front of your heart, palms towards your chest, and then go a little bit up if you want to have a look. So here you inhale, exhale, there you go, just like you are going on the swimming pool, down. You exhale by extending your arms, palms look outwards. You inhale, you put your hands on your chest and you open your chest, head up. And this time the head is going down and the back is rounding and extending. So feel the difference. Use your breath. And feel how relaxing it is. Relax the head, relax everything. And then you come in front. You just feel. And nobody is looking at you, so you are going to move all the muscles of your face, eyes closed. So imagine that you are making funny faces. I even have my headphones moving. So if you have the headphone, I have to keep it straight. But you move your jaws, you move your nose, you frown your forehead, you move the eyes inside the eye sockets. Just make funny faces. Nobody look at you. And you move, put all the movement inside. Imagine that you brush your teeth, going with your tongue in your mouth. And then you close your eyes, you stop. On the inhale, you frown everything, forehead, eyes, jaws. And on the exhale, you release the face. Once more, inhale, frown everything. Exhale, release. And then slowly, we are going to make a little palming. So you just brush your hands all together, and if you are on a table, you put your hands on the table. I'm sitting down, so I put my elbows on my knees, and you gently make a little nest with your hands to start feeling the warmth around your eyes. You open your eyes, you check that it's completely dark. And if it's not the case, you just have to adjust a little bit your fingers, your hands. Everybody can have the complete darkness. You relax your shoulders, you relax the face, we just did it. And with your thumbs, you make little turns on your temples, on the sides, to get rid of the tension. You turn the thumbs around the temples. You change the direction. And then you stop moving. And here you can have a little intention for your eyes now, today, tonight, just now. What would you like for your eyes? It can be just one word. Love, for instance, peace, light. And you are going to use your breath to put this intention in the deepest part of your heart. So you inhale, you inhale the fears, the doubts, everything in the inhale. Get out, and on the exhale, you bring your intention in your eyes, in your heart. Feel on the inhale, the hands going a little bit away from your eyes. And all the fears goes away, all the doubts, all the problems. And exhaling by the nose. Feel the warmth, the security, the intention going deeper and deeper. Just repeat that at your own rhythm, with your own breath, feeling, being in the present moment. And then slowly I invite you to take your hands away from your eyes, but not really away. You go on your forehead and you go on your eyebrows and you make little pinching on your eyebrows from the middle to the temples. So pinching it, you take your fingers and you pinch like this if you want to look. And you do the same on your forehead. And then you brush again your hands. Brush, brush, brush. And you go one finger against the other finger. So the thumb against the thumb, the second finger, middle finger, all fingers together, and you press. You inhale, you exhale, you press. And this is coming, if you do that a lot of time, the different fingers exercise of the massage, you will get tears coming in your eyes. And this is really nice if you have dry eyes after the computer. And now with your fingers, you go on your knuckles. So the thumb, you go on every knuckles of one hand, and then you change. And you press on the knuckles of each finger. And you do this with your own energy, with your whole strength of the day. Just letting all go, feeling. And you press again all the fingers together, you release. All the fingers together, you release. You slowly cross your arms, elbows crossed. You look down. And slowly you start blinking. Very important to blink. You come back at the level of the screen, or you look a bit further than your screen on the left side, in front, on the right side. And I would advise you also to go afterwards in a mirror and look how is your gaze after this practice.
Wow, that was so relaxing. I definitely learned a lot of new things. Felt really good. I've never done the finger, so
Okay.
super helpful. And I think seeing good comments, how this was really helping. So I love that little routine. We are out of time here, but I want
All
everybody to
right.
know, how can they find you, Fabienne? How can people work with you or connect with you? What's the best way?
Yes, well, all my stuffs are into French, of course, because I'm taking the French part on the website, on the Instagram, Facebook, and so on the social media. But you know that I can teach and learn and speak French, Spanish, English. So don't hesitate, even it's in French. The best way is to contact me by my website, which is quite small. And it's just I'm reworking the yoga for the eyes part, but you have there, you can contact me, or then it's always on Facebook, is yoga pour voir clair into French. And everything is yoga pour voir clair. Yoga to see clearly is the translation. So I have my Facebook page, and my internet website is also yoga pour voir clair.wordpress.com. And Instagram is on my name, Fabienne Weynant. LinkedIn also, it's my name. So one part is the company name, the other part is the my name. So
We put all the links under the show notes,
yeah,
and I'm
okay.
putting them into the chat right now. So this was so fascinating, wonderful. And any last things you want to say before we end the YouTube live stream?
Well, just thank you very much. For me, it was a pleasure to have to share this with you. And should you have any question, well, through Claudia, we keep in touch. We know each other. We are in the same WhatsApp group and so on. So don't hesitate.
Yeah, we can always, if there's questions on YouTube I cannot answer, I will make sure to have you take a
All
look.
right.
So thank you so much. And I hope everybody had some hope and inspiration. So, and more awareness of low vision, of maybe people in your life, and also not taking your vision for granted, really doing something now to keep your vision in top shape. If you have great eyesight now, then make sure you keep it that way. Thank you, Fabienne. This was really
Thank
amazing.
you.